Hello my dear friends, this is a PaintyKat. My name is Catherine. Welcome on my channel. Today we're gonna talk about this beautiful lily. I've got some references for you and materials I used. Just press pause and you can see all this in details. This version of tutorial, it's a demonstration, and here in a short time we will talk about main moments here. Real-time process tutorial with all explanations about color mixing, brushes, everything I used. It's going for 1 hour 50 minutes. It's almost 2 hours, and you can find it on a Patreon. All links down below in a description. First step here, yes, I'm gonna paint a lily with a photorealism. It's a really popular style, and why I also like it, because that's mean if you have no time to paint from the natural flower, you can just make a photo and later you can create painting from the photo reference. But how to keep this style of photo, how to give more realistic look to your flower? Let's see. First of all, I recommend to soft canvas. I used a little bit of white, titanium white, and water plus flat brush, and you can see my canvas is still wet. This way, all colors you will put on top, it's on the painting layer right now, everything spreading smooth. Yes, colors looking half transparent, but that's fine. Right now all you have to do is think about future colors, what colors you're gonna use for flower. For me it's vermilion red. In the center I put lemon yellow, and you could see on a video I already have a sketch also available for everyone who following real-time tutorial. Just download it, print it, and you will be ready to paint with me. Another color here, it's a green already. It's a color of a background, and for me it's a sap green. If you haven't the same colors, you have to pick, you have to choose those that you have most close to mine. Another interesting technique here, right now underpainting done, it's still wet a little bit, but all white canvas covered with colors. It's a sponging. I have sponges here, it's two sizes, first about 2 centimeters and another one 1.5. And you can see I put stamps almost everywhere. On top I will add more flat brush strokes, but also some extra round-shaped prints, because it's giving a photo effect. Some cameras have special lenses, and if you will check photos, you will find this effect on many of them, where you have brown spots on the background. It's blended mostly, but highlights looking as a round shaped. This effect really easy to repeat on a painting with sponges. Second step here, I recommend to give a better shape to petals. All lines I transferred from the sketch. You can do the same. I have a short tutorial how to do it on my channel, so please check it. Graphite on the back side, and just repeat all the lines you need to transfer. Vermilion, same as most red colors, it's a transparent color, so don't forget to add a little bit of white. This way your red color will have a better coverage, and just paint with it all the petals from the ends and go inside, in the center. With the yellow it's opposite way, you have to go from the center, and you have to try to touch the end of the flower. Don't spread yellow too far. I'd say it only goes till the middle, but direction have to go always to the end of the petal. This way petals will look really silky, very nice blended, because you're blending colors towards each other, and coverage not that thick, I'd say. You still able to see sketch lines I transferred, isn't it? Next step, it's a shaping of future buds, stems and leaves. It's up to you how many leaves and buds you wanna paint here. For me it's just 2 of them and a little bit of green leaves around. Next it's background part. And this is important moment if you're looking for realistic look. Realistic means really high contrast. We have a different contrast in paintings. First, it's a tone. It's a difference between light and dark areas here. And yes, for good contrast, for realistic paintings, you need to use black. It's not a clear black. Right now I'm mixing it with sap green and the darkest area going close to the flower. So the best contrast you will have between petal, between flower and background behind it. But don't spread this dark everywhere, don't cover the whole background, try to blend it softly to the lighter green with bigger brush. And sponges on top. Here what is important, consistency of acrylic have to be not liquid, soft enough still, other way sponge will not leave any print on a canvas. And just put a different color. Somewhere it can be more yellow, or sometimes it can be more green. I used not that many stamps, but still it's already giving photo effect, because first it's a contrast similar to photo, and second it's a imitation of photo camera lenses. What next? It's a value for flower. You already created background, right? So you can understand, you can see clearly those contrasts between little flower and a background. Of course, flower was still flat, just grab white, consistency hard dry, and with a flat brush we painting step by step, highlight on each petal. As soon as first value layer done, flower now looking not that flat, let's say, you can move to the next step, and this is a glazing. What important to remember while you're glazing? First, your painting have to dry completely, other way you will lift up previous layers. Take a look on my palette, it's just clear rose light. No white in mix, only water and a color, and go with a really thin layer on top of white areas. It's giving a really nice cold tone to petals in the light areas on the highlights, and this way you give even a better value to your flower. After glazing, you have to wait a little bit till all painting will dry again, other way you can use a hand dry. And let's take a look on a flower. It's already have a nice value, beautiful colors, nice color accents, because we used 2 different red colors, rose light and vermilion red. Background right now started to look more flat compared to flower. So before the step where you will be able to add tiny spots on a lily, also stamens and a pastel, I'd say it's important to give a final look for the background. First of all, I'm creating shadows under the petals and blending a little bit. I just want to create a better difference between dark background and the lighter looking petals. Realism, it's all about a contrast. Another type of the contrast here, it's a difference between warm tones and cold tones. Background done with only warm colors right now. It's a green plus yellow. But flower have a tiny touch of a cold red, those rose light. And this way you're giving even better contrast. It's not just a difference between dark and light spots here, areas here. It's also difference between a different tone colors, warm and cold. Value for buds and leaves. Here I'm using again, it's a one tone, or it's a subgreen plus yellow plus white, of course. And I really recommend to you to try flat slanted brushes because it's giving, from the first side, it's giving a nice control on line. You can do tiny lines, you can give a really nice sharp shape to your buds and even a tiny twigs or stems here. And same time, from another side, you can turn your brush a little bit, and instead of just thin line, you will have really thick brush stroke. This brush is blending nice. It's giving also in one go, in one brush stroke, you can see there are many colors, many tones. Just do not over mix colors on your palette. You can take a look how I'm mixing colors. It's not complete mix, it's not just a single color there. It's still visible yellow, bit of white and green, isn't it? I'm doing like 1, 2, 3 mixes moves, and I'm already going on a canvas. This way, in a single brush stroke, you will see many colors and tones in it. It's giving more life to your buds. It's imitating those tiny veins that each petal and a green leaf have. Stamens. I didn't transfer lines for stamens. It's still possible to do if you need to. Just put your sketch on top and outline those shapes you need. I don't need to because I can check area close I need. For example, it's a line of the petal crossed another one, and there seems like it's a stem in place. So I'm just doing a print from my brush. It's not just a brush stroke, not a long one. Color also important here. It's not black. It's a combination of vermilion, red, a little bit of green and black in the end, but only in the end. Vermilion giving one touch to this mix. It's mostly looking as a brown. We have no brown here, and I don't like idea to work with a really huge palette while you're painting, especially it's just a small size, so why you need to use like 20 colors here. It's always possible to mix something deep enough, especially if you already have a black. Tiny dots. It sounds simple but can be tricky, because if you will put dark lily dots everywhere and the color gonna be the same for each dot, your flower will look flat. To prevent this effect, I recommend to you to keep tone difference the same everywhere. What does it mean? It means if you're painting on a light area of the petal, color of the spots have to be light orange. It's darker than a petal, but not black. If you go into orange and your orange color of the spots not visible there, you have to mix a little bit deeper tone for your spots. Add red there. You can try to add rose light there. It's deeper tone than orange, still not black. And only if you're going further on a shadow part of your petal, there you can add a little tiny bit of green, but again not black, because black desaturating colors. Try to mix red, vermilion plus a little tiny bit of green, and you will see this color already looking deep enough. It's visible even on a dark areas or on a flower. I'm going gently. I'm not on a hurry at all. And brush here important. It have to be small but not too pointy, because pointy brush giving too thin line. This is a squatter brush, Modernista Synthetical number 2. I like it because it's not too pointy. Sometimes we don't need a pointy brush, for example for dots. Not only color tone difference important for natural looking spots on a lily. Another moment here, it's a shape of a dot. It just can't stay similar everywhere, because some petals looking flat enough here, but some petals looking curved. So when you're painting dots on a curved petal, your shapes of your spots have to change as well. For example, here, instead of oval looking spots, I mostly painted just a tiny round shaped dots. Sometimes these spots can repeat a shape or direction of the petal, like here for example. See? I'm trying to keep the same direction that petal already have. This way, these spots will look as a part of the flower instead of just splatters on top of the flower area. Final glazing, and when we need it. It's needed especially for paintings like this, when you have a really huge difference in a color between the flower and a background behind it. Background mostly green, okay, a little bit of yellow there as well, and flower have many red colors in it. This way, flower and a background can look too separated from each other. But if you wanna create flower in a garden, of course garden behind it in a real nature will have some rose and red spots as well. You can't put too many rose or too clear red spots on the background, because it will draw attention of your viewer from the flower, from the center of your composition. But still, it's nice to have a little bit of red there as well. How possible to add it there? How possible to unite all parts in a whole painting? Glazing going nicely on top of the light details here. For example, buds and leaves, some highlights on it you can glaze with red. And it's also looking nice because we have not just light spots, we also have reflections from the flower on buds and on leaves. You guys been asking to leave palette for you as a visible part of the painting, so I do this right now, and take a look how transparent and liquid consistency right now. Yes, it's vermilion, yellow, it can be rose light, but be careful with white here. I'm mixing far from spot of the white acrylic on my palette, because even a tiny amount from palette or from your brush, it will ruin effect of the glazing, because you'll get just a white spot on top. Also, I'm spreading colors with the fingers or with napkin. It's helping a lot, because all you need to do right now, soft blending, consistency watery, so it's really easy to blend and spread colors. And big flat fluffy brushes can be again for soft effect. Signing, I like when signing done with a color, with one of the colors from the painting, and this time it's orange. Actually, it's colors I still have left after glazing, but I added more white in it, and check the difference between coverage with white, without white. Without white glazing, really translucent. With white, it's a signing, good visible signing, because it's covering even a dark color under it. I demonstrated just main steps. You will have to follow while you will painting this flower. Again, real-time tutorial going for almost 2 hours, and if you like to paint with me with voice comments, explanations of each step, welcome on my Patreon. Also there you can have my advice, you can ask a critic by request, and you can send me a photo of your painting in progress if you have any issues while you're following my tutorials. Last step here, it's shining from inside of this flower. It's a mix of white and lemon yellow. My painting done. My friends, thank you for joining me today. We painted a lily. Yes, it's so many beautiful flowers around. What's your favorite flower? Let me know in the comments. Maybe next time we will paint it. Subscribe my channel and welcome on my Instagram. There you can share to me your painting. Don't forget #PaintyKat. I wish you all the best. I'll see you on my next tutorials. It was a PaintyKat. Bye bye.